Holly said everybody's live now. Jackson Hinkle, Richard Mehurst, Fred Hampton, leftists. Check them out. They're great. Good to know, Holly.
Yeah. Open up. All right. Brian. Yeah, Alan, I think you might need to be a replacement, man. Some of these flakes.
Let's talk a little bit about the news you've been making lately, going against the socialist movement. Are you concerned that some people like AOC might rile up their followers online against you? I mean, you know, they're very good online.
People are good on tweets. I'm good in the streets. You saw when the number of people who voted for me, particularly in the outer boroughs and north of 96th Street in Manhattan. You saw everyday New York is coming together, and I'm excited about that. And I'm excited about that blue-collar energy that I brought to the campaign. And so it's important when you're running for office. We are campaigning right now. My job is to show voters the difference between Eric Adams and the others that are in the race. So this is not a personal attack on any particular elected official. This is showing voters that I don't have a socialist mindset. I have a mindset of ending inequalities, improving our city's economics, keeping our high-income earners here because they pay taxes that allow us to have the police.
He's a clown. No, I'm not a good in the tweets. I'm good in the street. Get out of here, you freaking clown! You don't even live in these streets. I've heard he like doesn't even live in New York. Like this dude is a freaking clown, man. He needs to go. He hasn't even started yet, and he already needs to go.
That's a cute line though. That's a cute line, I gotta say.
Whatever, man. Whatever, man. How do I get a whatever, man reaction? Meme, whatever.
Heck is that? That pickles? Yo, that's disgusting, man. That is disgusting. I ain't eating that, man. I ain't eating that. Yeah.
Where is that?
In Germany?
Yeah, I was gonna say. Yeah, that's definitely not the U.S.
What?
Wow.
Productions on the track.
Do it.
CaseStudyQB Productions on the track.
What's this? What's with that mix? Gotta work on that. The DJ skills a little bit though.
CaseStudyQB Productions on the track.
Yeah, man. Why do people got jobs and stuff? They got stuff to do. That's crazy.
Unacceptable. Doing all right, doing all right. Dealing with some technical difficulties over here, but we'll be strong. I'm good.
Man, dealing with a lot of school issues over here. And I know in New York, you guys get out late and get in late. You don't get in till later on, but over here in Georgia, school's starting up this week actually. So trying to deal with the virtual versus in person and all that good stuff, man. Yeah, but I'm running the risk. I'm gonna putting them in person. The way that there was some other issues, but the way that my elementary school is doing it is better than I've seen in other places. They got basically little bodega cubicles with the plexiglass for the desks and whatnot. They look like bodega cashiers.
Living the dream.
Hey, come on.
CaseStudyQB Productions on the track.
Yeah, man. I'll take any extra music. At one point it did. Hey, double music is better than no music.
Uh, I'm hearing you play double music. Yeah, that's for sure.
Let's see. Let's do rapid fire for real, right? Well, there's no Felipe, there's no John. All right. So number one, swastika found carved in State Department elevator by Keegan Finn at NBC News. All you need to know about this story is if this can happen in the State Department, then it can happen anywhere. In what institution are there no white supremacists, Izzy? Name one. I dare you.
Zero. I mean, there's just literally, I can't think of even one. Not even close.
I mean, the State Department of the United States. Imagine if somebody could, could be some, anti-Semite drawing swastikas in there. It's over. It's a wrap. I mean, we had a white supremacist in the White House already, plus all the insurrectionists. So, They're all over. It's just simple. Some people need to put others down in order to make themselves feel better.
I think it's called becoming a tyrant, no? I think so, yeah.
Hello, I know this is rapid fire, but I gotta stop the show. I feel offended right now. I feel offended. Holly Horn said, I have to remember CJ Bedon and Carlito are two different people.
Oh my
Seriously?
God.
Seriously? Damn, son. That, you know, man.
That's messed up. That's not a fair comparison. I'm sorry, Bedon, but that's not a fair comparison.
No, I didn't hook it up. Oh. All right, man. Next story. Next story. Buffalo police purchased high-tech lassos with mental health grant by Colleen Cronin at the Daily Dot. So the original description of the grant, which has given the city of Buffalo $746,317 to date, outlines a plan to embed mental health clinicians in the police department. And since these high-tech taser-looking lassos called bowler wraps, or which cost around $1,000 a piece, since they're being used to hog-tie people with mental health issues, that means they still fall under the mental health category for the grant, I think. So at least they're not going to immediately shoot people. So it's all good, right, Bedon?
I find it hilarious because it's more or less like they have, and again, not to say that I want anyone to get tased, but they already have non-lethal weapons out there. And it's like they really completely ignore the fact of how to manage and handle mental health issues. It's like, let me get something to like harass somebody, and we all know who they're gonna harass. So it's
just
a waste of money.
Toys. They just want new toys, man. That's all it is. Yeah, see, yeah, Chris said, yeah, like Wonder Woman. Yeah, if you see the article, it's kind of like a taser, and then it shoots out this rope with two like weights on each end, and then it wrap around people's arms or legs.
But remember, cops don't know the difference between a taser and a gun.
I know, right? So it doesn't, maybe they should have a lasso on one side and a taser on the other, and no gun. They don't think like that, man. They don't think like that.
I've said it before. I'll say it again.
Well, we're going back to the cowboy days, basically, right? Next thing you know, I mean, there was that image, right? The guy that got arrested, and the police officer was in a car on a horse, like bringing him to the court.
All right, next one. So this one being covered in different places, but Hillary Clinton endorsed candidate Chantel Brown faces potential ethics probe by Walker Bragman and Andrew Perez in the Daily Poster and Newsweek.com. So you guys know Brown, who's running against Nina Turner in Ohio's 11th congressional district. When in April, the NSA reported that Brown, a Cuyahoga County council member, have voted to award millions worth of contracts to companies connected to her romantic partner and campaign donors. Emails reviewed by the Daily Post show that the Ohio State Auditor's Office reviewed the allegations in the article and recently referred the matter to the State Ethics Commission. So Brown, who had pledged to recuse herself as necessary from contracts involving her partner, Mark Perkins, has used her position as county commissioner to help steer $17 million in contracts to Perk. Perk was founded with Perkins' uncle, but is now owned by the Sifani family, who have long established business ties with the Perkins family and who have supported Brown's campaigns for office. Weeks after approval of one of those contracts of $7 million, Perk hosted a fundraiser for Brown's re-election campaign. Coincidence, Case? Mm, yeah. Yeah, but I mean, these people always get away with murder, man. Whenever big money is involved, it's hard. The only way people, like powerful people, get in trouble is if they mess with more powerful people. Like what's the Wall Street dude that stole the money, like Bernie Madoff, like dudes like that. Like you messing with other people's money, rich people, that's when you might get in trouble. Yeah. Oof. Yeah, we got there's something going on with the boxes. Guess what's Izzy? Yeah, Izzy has some technical
I joined
issues.
back in.
Yeah, I can't hear Izzy. Yeah. All right, we got that double box in the bottom. All right, so see. Meanwhile, the next story. This one is kind of scary. Hold on, did we go 5 already? Oh no. Oh, I skipped one. Hold up, I skipped one. Yeah. So this one is it's
You said rapid fire.
stupid. Yeah, it was so rapid. It's like Democrats' new midterm strategy knocking the GOP for vote against police funding by Akila Lacey at The Intercept. So establishment Democrats have spent months under fire from both Republicans who claimed that Democrats wanted to weaken law enforcement and from members of their party's own progressive wing who were critical of the way the party bent to some of those attacks. Now those same moderate Democrats are fighting back, namely by highlighting Republicans' vote against the American Rescue Plan, Congress's coronavirus aid package, and Democrats' only major legislative achievement in session. This is because some cities are using some of those funds to hire more police. So on the one hand, it makes sense to call out Republicans whenever they're hypocrites, which is almost all of the time. But on the other hand, come on, son. Really? Really? Is there anything that establishment Democrats would not do to piss off progressives? Anybody? Nobody.
It just seems like they're late to the party, though.
But it's like they want to always like out Republicans. The Republicans, it's like it's a losing battle. You can't win being Republican light. But if they just don't want to agree with anything the progressive wing is doing. So I say Alan says technically true, but corporate Dems will be dumb to think that that's the selling point for Senate control in 2022. It's ridiculous.
Corporate Dems are dumb to think that anything that they're doing is going to be good for their Senate control in 2022.
Yeah, I mean, they're just hoping that the Republicans are bad so they could be less bad.
Exactly.
That's about it. It's ridiculous. All right, so let's go to this last story. CDC study shows 70% of people infected in Massachusetts COVID outbreak were fully vaccinated. By Berkeley Lovelace Jr. at CNBC.com. And you got it here at WashingtonPost.com covered the same story. So the data published Friday was based on 469 cases of COVID associated with multiple summer events and large public gatherings held in July in Barstow County, Massachusetts, which encompasses Cape Cod and just outside Martha's Vineyard. The events were held in Provincetown, according to NBC News. Approximately 3/4 or 74% of the cases occurred in fully vaccinated people who have completed a 2-dose course of the mRNA vaccines or received a single shot of Johnson & Johnson's. So not only that, they also found that fully vaccinated people who got infected carry as much of the virus in their noses as unvaccinated people. So are we screwed or are we royally screwed, Izzy?
I mean, who are you talking to right now? You know, like this, we already know that we are screwed no matter what. You know, this news is definitely not helping us at all. You know, we already knew that we would be, you know, we knew that there was some risk if you were vaccinated, but we didn't really know how much. This is really bringing that to light now, especially with the new variants. You know, and the variants are only going to continue getting worse and worse as variants do, because that's what viruses do. Secret, you know, a little secret in the science community. That's what viruses do. They evolve. You know, so none of this is like should be a surprise to us. And all these people who, you know, haven't been vaccinated to this point, or haven't been vaccinated to this point, they're not going to get vaccinated. If they haven't been wearing masks to this point, they're not going to wear masks. So, I mean, this is, you know, they're only just going to continue being breeding grounds for more variants. It's just, I don't see any way that this doesn't continue to get worse. You know, I had hope when the vaccines were coming out, but, you know, seeing so few people getting vaccinated is just, it's really scary. So I think it's only, you know, a matter of time till we get to a point where our vaccines are really not going to help us against these new variants.
You know, it's scary, man.
You know, there was a part of the article where Dr. Pardis Sabeti, a geneticist at the Broad Institute in Harvard University, said, we are in a moment right now, a crossroads, a fork in the road where we can either try and take a road to end the pandemic, or we can take a path that will prolong it. And all I have to say to Dr. Sabeti is, like, I feel like that's what we've been doing this entire time, is we've been at these forks in the road, and we just keep taking the wrong turn. Or, you know, as the poet, the scholar Sean Carter once said, I drove by the fork in the road and went straight. You know, like that. I mean, this is basically every single time we have the opportunity to do something better to end this pandemic, we keep making the wrong decisions as a society, not as, you know, as the doctors and all that, but as a society, we just keep screwing this up.
Yeah, it might, you know, it's to me, it seems almost too little too late, but seeing that a lot of the unvaccinated people, and I mean, even in this case where you're vaccinated, at least if you're vaccinated, you don't have as bad as side effects as somebody that's unvaccinated. But seeing that all these unvaccinated people are getting it the worst, I think that's what's forcing, like, Fox News right now, for example, to say, like, guys, like, get vaccinated and stuff like that, because it's going to be a losing strategy. Like, they're losing their base. Like, a lot of Republicans now are coming out saying, go ahead and get vaccinated, because their people are dying. So, you know, that might be like a silver lining there, you know, that because they see their chances getting worse for election prospects because their base is dying, that they're gonna, you know, they're telling them get vaccinated now so you're alive to help us destroy the country. Yeah. Yeah, but I mean, even with Trump, I mean, he got vaccinated, but his not getting through. He's not being real vocal about it, but it's like they forgot that he got vaccinated himself, or they make excuses for it.
It's against HIPAA.
A what?
It's against HIPAA.
Oh, Okay. Yeah. But one of the things that we didn't talk about, but there was a race in Texas, like a primary for something where the person that was endorsed by Trump lost. So maybe Trump is, is losing a little bit of his cachet. Maybe if the candidates see that all roads don't lead to crazy, they might start getting a little bit more, whatever is moderate for them. That I don't know. Um, I think he showed support also with his money. I think he was using some of his campaign fund or something to help him out.
Why you don't have to ever hear her? She was like, okay? You need to back up. You need to back up. Do not touch me. Back up. Back up. Just calm down. Calm down. Hold on. You can talk to her. Okay. But you can get up. You don't have to do her like this. She's trying to jump in front of her. No, she's not. Please.
Kaya, calm down. Kaya, calm down. Kaya, calm down.
Just calm down, okay? Calm down.
Just let her get up.
Please. You don't have to sit on her like that.
Kaya, calm down. Kaya, just calm down.
Okay. Just calm down.
Just breathe, Kaya.
Calm
Just
down.
breathe.
I got her, please. Sis, what guys on her? Why are y'all just 102 degrees out here? I can't breathe. She cannot breathe.
She's spitting up,
They don't
Jay.
even fucking care. What are you going to No. She hasn't done anything. No.
We'll turn her over if y'all
Okay,
back up.
okay. But what are you going to turn her over for in cover? She has not done anything.
Please let her.
Yo, I never seen no training video. What kind of position is that to be holding somebody, man? Trying to cup a feel or something?
And she's not even, I mean, she's not resisting. She's not rolling around. She's not fighting it. Like, yeah, just let her go. Just get up for a second. You know, it's, I mean, was she okay in the end? Like,
Who called you? Where you finna go? Well, she wasn't doing nothing but walking. How you gonna fuck with somebody and they walking? We pull up, he on top of her with his camera underneath her.
walking while black.
Y'all need to report that. It's okay, I got it on video. And I got your face, I got your badge number, I got your name, I got all of it.
Man, that's all parts of Texas. That's both parts of the country, man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man, this is nothing new, man. You could just throw a dart at YouTube when you find one of those videos, man. Richie, something Richie.
I've been out there a few times where they're like, yeah, if you come during a certain time of the summer, forget it. Like, you can't do anything there. Like, there's not going to be restaurants. There's not going to be shops that you can go to. People are off. Like, they just go enjoy it, which is amazing to me. It's awesome.
Was it Bernie Mac that said when we break, we break?
Yeah. Oof, I'm down for that. Only thing is, I like being able to take vacation when I want. Not, I give all the love to teachers and people who work in schools, but that's got to be rough. You only take vacation when you're allowed to. Like that kind of sucks. Yeah, that's true.
That not even, man. Not even, man. Like this, they spend half of it preparing for the next summer or doing training themselves, like dealing with, like with the school a little bit closely and with PTA and stuff like that. I appreciate teachers a whole lot more, man, because they're spending a lot of time when they're not supposed to, just taking care of our damn kids.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Everybody's saying teachers this and teachers that until it's time to pay the teachers, and nah.
And I can't. I mean, you guys could speak a lot more to, like, schools than I can with the kids and all that, and charter schools specifically. But I just met someone who works in a charter school, and they were talking about how some of these charter schools, they start teachers at, like, I mean, maybe not if you're brand new, but like well over 100,000. Sometimes like 130, 150, I guess, depending on what district you're in and all that.
Yeah,
But
that
yeah,
depends.
apparently some of these.
Yeah, Izzy, that depends a lot on the charter school, because I could tell you with some of the charter schools out here in Georgia, and it's not like that. Sometimes it varies a lot, but one of the problems I have with charter schools is that they basically using public money to do experiments. Like they, sometimes, in some instances, their heart is in the right place. They're trying to find different ways to be innovative with education and things like that. But so many times, all they're trying to do is a business to make money, and they want to take people that probably couldn't be allowed, they wouldn't be allowed to be teachers of public school, to teach there for cheaper, so they could get more money into their pockets, whoever owns the charter schools. Yeah. Yeah. I'm one person that I did a complete 180 on charter schools and things like that. After I did some research, I had like my daughter in private school for a certain amount of time, and so I was pro, school choice and stuff like that. And the more I look into it, the more it's like, yeah, I'm more public school all the time. So I just put my kids in public school, even if I don't need to, because really, like, private school, I'm fine if you're doing it with your own money, no tax rates, no anything, but they even try to use tax breaks to go to private school over here, and that turn me off from them. And then charter schools, like I said, is the money-making scheme like that. And also a lot of just indoctrination. A lot of religious institutions try to, indoctrinate your kids that way. So a lot of charter schools are here like Christian-based.
I didn't realize that. I didn't realize they could even be Christian-based. Yeah, that's scary. Oof. I mean, no, because they take some public money, right? How could they be religious based if they take public funding?
They find their way, and it's the bio belt down here. So there was a story one time that it was so hilarious to me, because this was in New Orleans, in Louisiana. I don't remember what part, but it was in Louisiana, where it's the same thing, school choice, Christian school, blah blah blah, and somebody tried to start a Muslim school. You can't imagine what happened. You can't imagine.
Tell us how that went.
That school is not existent. Okay. They were talking about all this religious freedom and blah 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 until it was non-Christian.
Freaking trash, man. Yeah. I mean, it goes to show what Carlito's always saying, right? Like, even if you live in the North, you're not guaranteed to be free of racism and, anti-Semitism, anti-Muslim, whatever. Like, it happens everywhere for sure. I mean, look at who we just elected mayor. Essentially, you know, like this guy is the most center of right and or center, and then he just, yeah. New York is disappointed too. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah, Holly Horn saying, "Don't have to imagine."
Guys opened up with that Tucker Carlson special. It's totally unintentional. That obviously you didn't this segue, but David Horowitz has this theory, and it explains why the Democrats have essentially become pro-crime. He calls it, you know, the Democrats, they're the anti-communists, right? Like, people wonder all the time, like, why is it Democrats will support Iran if they throw people who are gay off buildings? How is it that Democrats are pro-crime? And it's because you have communists, right? And that's largely become the radical left. Then you have us. We're the anti-communists. We're like, hey, that's really bad. And then the Democrats who hate us so much, they become the anti-communists. So whatever we're for, they're against. So if we're like, hey, we like law and order, they're like, you know what? We're pro-crime. Crime is great. We love this. I'm serious. This segue, but speaking of,
listen. This is called projection. Whatever they accuse the Democrats of doing is because that's what they're doing. They're anti whatever the Democrats say, whatever progressives want, no matter if it's even good for their own constituents or people or their own people. So it's the same thing. They always do this, man. The same thing that, like, with cancel culture. They forever canceling everybody. They cancel everybody all the damn time, and they say that the progressives are with the cancel culture. Say something about Jesus. See how fast you get canceled. I didn't hear it.
What?
Knowledge of the situation. Manchin's office declined to comment on the attendance on his boat. Just in to CNN, moving forward on the breaking news from earlier this hour that Senator Lindsey Graham, who just revealed that he tested positive for COVID, he was on Senator Joe Manchin's houseboat this weekend. Now, Manchin entertained a small group of senators on his houseboat, and Graham was in attendance, according to a source with knowledge of the situation. Manchin's office declined to comment on the attendance on his boat. Senator Manchin is fully vaccinated, they say, and followed the guidelines from the CDC for those exposed to a COVID-positive individual. That's from Manchin's spokeswoman.
And also, he has a houseboat. Like, that's
Yo, that's what I was first thinking. The houseboat?
Yeah, that's where he lives in
Isn't that a
DC,
yacht?
man. That's where he lives in DC. He try to be a special, you know, and that's why he does all these parties all the time. He likes to be the man of the party and invites all these people from, you know, both sides of the aisle, but they're both on the same aisle of conservatism, pretty much. There's all the conservatives and then Republicans like Lindsey Graham. But yeah, he likes to be. That's why he's always doing the things that he's doing now about holding things in gridlock for everybody to beg for his vote. He likes to be an attention. You know what goes next. Mm-hmm.
She just had a meeting with the VP, no?
So do we know like what is her end goal here? Like what, you know, I mean, it's great to be bringing attention to this and obviously be physically putting in the fight. Does she have like a plan for why, you know, what she's gonna do for how long? For that,
Yeah, I don't think the march had anything to do with it, honestly. I think this is who she is. I mean, she was, you know, when she was back home in her home state, she was, you know, out there when she was homeless, man. So, you know, she's probably the Congress person that could relate the most of what people are going through, and that's what made her act this way.
yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if I go that far, but I will
is it new or is
say
it too late? Like, why wait to like the very last minute?
Bowman. Yeah, you're right. But yeah, I wouldn't call it just performative because it's not like a photo up and going home. She's actually staying there and sleeping there. And I mean, there's some other, I don't know the name. She's the one getting the press because she's like the one who started it. But there's a couple of the people that are staying with her too. So props to them too.
yeah, right. I mean, you were talking about performative. Like, there's some performative things you could do that anybody could do, right? Like wearing dashikis and getting down to one knee in the middle of the freaking Capitol, like idiots. That's performative, and that's not helping anybody. But this is something that not everybody could do. I mean, we were talking in the pre-show, like Cory Booker is maybe the closest thing that has ever come to this, where he like lives on a homeless budget. I mean, homeless budget is pretty much nothing, but you know, like he actually did that for I think at least a month at a time. He's done it, I think, multiple times. Not to give him much credit, but at least, you know, give him that much. So, you know, this is like really putting your you know, you're really putting yourself, oh, what's the phrase, putting your something where your mouth is, like
Yeah. Yeah, and dude, Corey, he was living on food stamps, whatever that amount of money is for the people that get food stamps.
Yeah. So I mean, this is performative in a way, like you said, Case. It actually means something, you know, like you still want the legislation, you still want her doing her job, you know, writing the laws, but I mean, at least, you know, there's a lot of people that are going to be suffering right now, you know, once this, I mean, as this moratorium is over, and you know, it's I don't know, scary or sad.
And I heard it on an interview on Democracy Now. It's illegal for you to sleep out there. Like they cannot lay down to sleep. You get arrested. So she was actually like sleeping, sitting on a chair.
Wow, because they will arrest her.
But
they got the budget.
I know some of us know how uncomfortable it is sleeping sitting down or sleeping standing up. But inside, that's inside joke. Sorry, guys.
Not an environmental is a lot of other things in this bill that might be need to be worked out between you and your fellow Democrats. The environment is one of them. There are a lot of environment. What concerns you about the environment?
My concern is basically being realistic and being practical about what's going on in the world. Within the next 10 years, 90% of pollution is going to come from one continent, Asia. And China's going to have 3,500 coal-fired plants. In America, they make you believe we only have 504. There's 6,600 operating. They're building another 1,063, none in America. And they're make you think that, well, if you get rid of all the coal-fired plants, it basically solves the pollution. It doesn't.
Well, it's a big signal to the rest of the world. And
the rest of the world's not going in that direction. We're the only country. If we get out of the fossil business, there will not be any R&D, research and development. We have $12 billion for carbon capture sequestration. If you don't do that, you're not going to save the climate.
But what they would argue is the clock is ticking. If you wait for carbon
ticking and we're working.
That's a long time from now and might not even work.
No, John, no. We know it does work. What we haven't been able to do is been able to do it in a more practical, profitable way to where it doesn't break the bank. So once we find that unlock that new technology, then that's a whole nother game changer. We can get there. We're close.
Can you come to compromise with the liberal members of the Senate on these issues of the environment?
I would like to think so.
Or does Joe Manchin, who once shot an environmental piece of legislation in a campaign ad, is it going to be too hard to get
the reason I shot that campaign ad? Yeah. I shot that piece of legislation. They were asking us to do things that technology hadn't even been developed in. But now we have scrubbers, low NOx boilers, and baghouses for mercury. Once we're able to have a valued use for the carbon and make it into solid products to where we can use it for value added, it'd be great.
You think you can come to a compromise with Democrats who have said, Senate Democrats who have said this is central to this bill passing?
Well, I can tell you one thing. I've always come to a compromise. I've always tried to find the middle. Now, if they don't want to find the middle, that'd be up to them. I can always find that middle. But if you think you're going to eliminate your way to a cleaner environment, I totally disagree. You can innovate your way to it, and the rest of the world will follow if you have the technology that they know they'll use.
Two other quick questions.
Speaking on this, I was just watching
That's a better comparison there for Holly.
There are a couple countries are banning pre-built high-end gaming PCs because they consume too much electricity when on sleep. Because of some clean energy bill that just passed. I think Hawaii, Oregon, California, and some other states.
There go that mic.
So yeah, maybe we need to get an energy efficient mic for you, but
please.
All I gotta say is that I never met a dude that he has such a punchable face. Like that dude's face is so punchable. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's all the stuff that comes out of his mouth. Maybe it's just his nose. I don't know what it is, but God, I hate that. Oh man, I'm about to curse. But anyway. No, he's obviously out of his mind. He's obviously, he's all about the Benjamins. We don't have anywhere near enough time to innovate our way out of this. We don't have, it's already too late. You already know my take. It's already too late. We are doomed. It's like we have maybe less than 10 years to completely reverse course, which we know is not going to happen. We have to cut off all emissions now. It's just, there's just no way. So we're doomed no matter what. And this guy just wants to houseboat his way through the rest of his life, I guess, and just, enjoy his luxury until he goes.
Listen, this guy, first of all, he's blaming China 10 years from now, right? Soap it up with baby ducks.
No, man, that's sad.
Nah, so you're saying like, yeah, in 10 years, China's gonna have all these coal plants, whatever. And even though China is doing all that, they also, I believe, lead the world in creating also other technology, like clean technology at the same time. So they're doing both. And then he's saying that, well, if we are the ones to start cleaning up, they're not gonna stop. So they're gonna be polluting. Well, we already polluted, like we already did our portion of pollution. So now you want to stop these countries from developing their energy after we already did ours, pretty much. That's what he's trying to say. So it's ridiculous. Like you were saying, the innovation is never going to come fast enough because we already, as Dizzy says, doomed. Is by some measures, it's already too late. And there is no amount of R&D that's going to make coal clean. It's an oxymoron. And lastly, there's a quote that I was looking up, that basically explains everything, why he's saying all the crap that he's saying. This is, it is difficult to get a man to understand something when his salary depends upon his not understanding it, by Upton Sinclair. So he's just going to say whatever it is he needs to say to keep getting paid.
Yeah, I forgot what I watched recently. I think it might have been last week tonight, actually, if he had a segment on this, if I remember correctly, that showed a graph that, of basically where our emissions are going, where they've been throughout history, where they're going soon, but where they really need to be in order for us to right this direction that we're going in and actually save this planet. And I mean, oh no, it was actually on Netflix. It was a show on Netflix. I can't remember the name right now, but I'll see if I can pull it up later. But yeah, basically, I mean, if we don't reverse course right now and within the next 7 years, drastically reduce our emissions, I'm talking probably like way more than 50% within the next 7 years. That's it. We're doomed. Like we're going to hit a point of no return, and the planet is doomed. I mean, who in here honestly really believes that we're going to be able to reverse course that quickly in 7 years when our direction is still trending upwards?
You see how fast they're burning down in the West Coast?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And you guys, we got Chris and others talking about Bitcoin mining and stuff, but it actually reminded me of mining, like coal mining. We have coal miners protesting. They came all the way to New York City protesting because they're not getting taken care of. So so these people that talk about they need to protect our workers in this dirty, energy fields. They really don't care. They care about money more. But they don't care if the miners themselves die. When in Bernie's plan that for clean energy, those people I think they were guaranteed salaries for 5 years in order for them to transition into other jobs. So what they talk about now, you can't do this clean energy because you're going to kill coal miners. The companies themselves don't care about them because most of these jobs are already gone. They're already doing most things automatically or mechanized and a whole bunch of explosives. There's not a whole lot of mining jobs out there to begin with. And if they die, they don't care. And by the way that they're they keep telling them that they're going to give them severance packages and stuff like that, or they give up money in order for future severance, and then the company files a bankruptcy and don't give them any money. That shows whether we really believe. So all this stuff, they're going to say whatever it is to say to keep the money train going, because in the end, they don't care about the environment because they're short-sighted and selfish.
Yeah, I mean, that's been the Republican playbook for a long time, right? Is talk about the coal miners, but you're not actually doing anything for any of them while they're actively, I mean, they've been losing their jobs for decades. So that's definitely been the playbook for a long time. Also, real quick, so the show is called Breaking Boundaries, The Science of Our Planet, and it's by David Attenborough on Netflix. I highly recommend it. I don't know if I brought it up on the show before, but it's a must watch. It talks about all the different domains that our planet has in terms of fossil fuel emissions, our food security, our water security, our biodiversity, and he just basically ranks like where we are in terms of like reaching a point of no return in each one of those domains, and how in many of them we're already at the point of no return. We're past the point of no return, and for the ones where we aren't yet, we're heading down this trend where it's just like, I mean, there really isn't going to be any way to save this planet. So highly recommend it. It's practically a must watch. There was one science, he must have been an oceanographer, I think, on the show. He's talking about what he sees in the oceans going on. He literally just starts crying right in the middle of it, just because of how doomed he knows we are and how sad it is to see what's happening to this planet. So, I don't want to make everybody sad, but it is, it is kind of like, it's moving in a way that it should be, because, we have to take action yesterday. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, part of what they brought up in that documentary was how back when we had the ozone crisis. I mean, we all remember that, right? We're all old enough to remember that, and how it was pretty much all the talk. And I remember learning about it in school. It was talked about everywhere, and it was the one thing, the one environmental thing that we've ever been able to do where we saw a crisis and we said, okay, let's avert this crisis as a globe, as a whole globe. I mean. Right. But yeah, we're at a point where, we're basically saying the world is doomed again, and from many different directions, not just ozone, not just, we have wildfires burning like crazy. We have people who can't reach drinking water. We have the whole planet is warming insanely. People are going underwater. So we're getting hit by all of these things all at once. And basically most of the planet is just like, let's just keep TikToking. Like it. Yeah, the aerosols. Yeah, they were depleting the ozone layer, and we actually righted that pretty quickly.
Yeah, that's probably, we solved that because there was a way for people to make money by making new cans, new way.
Yeah. I mean, but
I mean, if you're selling your same hairspray, but instead of aerosol using a pump, you're still selling the same thing, so it didn't hurt them. But yeah, but it did show that people got together to do something at least.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, more than what we're doing today.
Yeah,
just more than what we're doing today. I mean, in theory, you could have Exxon just transition over to clean energy. If you want to use that analogy, I know it's a way bigger transition, obviously. But there are things that they could be selling that help us in the right direction.
I mean, they say they do. Forcing them to. They actually put commercials. They say they're doing that transition. But as we saw with that dude, the lobbyist that he was trying to get another job at another company, he was saying how, we do all these things for the public, but in private we're still lobbying to keep our money train going over here. So they put these things to like greenwashing their as they call it, greenwashing their activities.
I like that. Greenwashing. That's good.
I want to say two things real quick, because to be more specific, because I think it was Chris said that the miners went to Wall Street. I want to say that because I just said New York, but there's Wall Street because Republicans and these conservatives like Manchin keep talking about the elites not caring about the miners and blah blah blah. Well, they went to Wall Street because those elites are the people that are actually controlling those mines. So they whine about elites, but it's just all for show because the elites are the ones that are ruining the lives of the people that they claim to protect. And the other thing is that I don't remember if it was twice as much, 3 times as much, but the Jeff Bezos stunt to going into space got more coverage than climate change has gotten all year.
As he contributes to climate change.
Yeah. So that tells you, where the media puts their emphasis.
Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, leader of one of the leaders of the progressive movement in the House, has said she's got 10 progressives who will block infrastructure unless you over in the Senate pass this budget bill.
Well, sometimes maybe you'll have 15 or 20 Republicans that would see a good bill. Maybe there might be 100 Republicans in the House that says, my God, I like this. Guess what? It takes care of my transportation. It's the greatest jobs bill we've ever had. It runs for 5 to 10 years. It gives you total growth each year to try to stimulate the economy. So, you know what? Everybody had that there was a Hastert. Remember the Hastert rule?
Sure.
Yeah,
only Republicans could vote.
That's
by
crazy.
majority.
I take a win whenever I can get it.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm tired that AOC comes up so damn much. But even though I like her, it gets tiring. But it's because they're always trying to use her as a punching bag from whatever side. But they always try to use her as a punching bag because she gets headlines. It's all clickbait, and I'm tired of that. Really. But this guy, man, he's saying you're gonna get 20 or 100 Republicans in a bill. See, this is the kind of stupidity that he says on purpose when everybody knows that the Republicans do not want what the Democrats want or what progressives want. They're never going to vote for a bill that we want to do. Their job is obstruction. That's it. And he saying that he could get a few Republicans here and there, or however many, is just delay tactics. So at the end, the progressive is like, damn, I guess we have to take whatever bill we can because we don't want people to suffer because, we're not narcissists that we don't care who dies, contrary to, as opposed to them.
I mean, did we even have 100 Republicans sign up saying that January 6th was real?
No.
Like, I don't even think 100 Republicans did that. Where is he getting 100 Republicans from? Like, I can't even remember the last bill Democrats came up with at 100
It was just a
Republicans.
tour.
It was just a tour. Yeah, exactly. Real quick, I wanted to say, Chris in the chat, she said that in the late 60s and 70s, she remembers some of her textbooks were written by the fossil fuel industry. She said she remembers seeing Texaco on the front of the books, which is really scary because even back then we knew about climate change. And so that must have been how they started trying to indoctrinate people way early on.
This is something that I read about along with, the Daughters of the Confederacy writing books for, to cover racism. The corporations are also writing books to cover up for their capitalist thievery.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that I don't think anybody here would disagree that having people that represent our views to the left of Bernie that's a great thing. I mean, to really represent the population, because there are plenty of people who are left of Bernie in this country. So if you had a stage that represented the actual country, I absolutely believe that would have helped, yeah, moderate Bernie a little bit, and not necessarily that he. I mean, if we have someone left to Bernie, I'm voting for that person. But still, like,
yeah, facts, facts.
But I'm just saying that, like, absolutely, we need that. We need to help normalize people like Bernie's views, because Bernie isn't even. I mean, he's not. First of all, he's not a communist. He's barely even a socialist. Like, he's not that radical.
Okay, so I think you're gonna have to make me a drop. I'm gonna show my age. Anybody know Too Short? When every time he drops in a song, he said, "What's my favorite word?" I don't know. Izzy knows what it is, but we're gonna make me
I
a
don't.
drop. well, it rhymes with itch.
Oh no.
So he said, "Well, I might need a drop with that." It's like, "What's my favorite phrase?" Overturn window. And man, we got. Yes, but don't talk about tobacco industry. They're losing. Well, they're trying to get on the vaping train now, so they could get their money. Well, that too. That's next. That's next. But that also with the pharmaceutical companies are also trying to get in there. Yeah, but their thing was like, their thing was like, yeah, if she's for defunding the police, why does she have private security guard? Well, maybe if you stop telling people that she's gonna destroy the country and then basically calling for a murder, talking about Second Amendment remedies, then maybe she won't need it.
Yeah, and there's a big difference between police and personal security, because your life is at risk at basically all times.
Yo, Neat is out of here. Neat, peace out. Yeah, talk about Neat. Neat is the one that dropped that Bryson video on Discord. Join the Discord. Somebody dropped the link. Yo, shout out to Holly, even though, I don't know how you confuse me with Bedong. I mean, I don't get it.
Peace.